Hello beautiful people, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi, and in today's video I'm super excited because this is going to be my October reading wrap-up. I am doing it a little bit early this month because I've got a lot going on in the upcoming week, and so I don't think I would have time to record it then, so I just figured I'd do it now. I don't really think I'm gonna finish any more books this month anyway. If I do, I will of course mention the book I'm currently reading like I always do, and that'll be the book that I finish. However, I feel really good about this month. I read 4 books, which compared to a lot of YouTubers is not a lot of books. However, for me in school with like 20 credit hours of classes and marching band and a whole bunch of other stuff going on, that is a lot of books, and I am very proud of myself for finishing my 4 books, and I really enjoyed my 4 books. They were all very good, and I'm super excited to talk about them with you guys. So there are 2 of these that I'm not going to go into detail on because I'm either in the process of making a reading vlog about it or I made a reading vlog about it, which will be linked up here and down below in the description. You should go watch those. I loved every single book that I read this month, and I loved getting back into reading actively as much as possible this month. All of the books, I think, kind of lent themselves to my enjoyment of reading again because they were all books that I had a very hard time putting down, which was great because it means that I got to finish 4 books instead of like the 1 or 2 that I've been finishing in the past couple of months. So it's super great. I am so happy to be out of a reading slump again, and without any further ado, let's get into what I actually read. The first book that I finished this month is up here in the back. It is going to be The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare and a couple of other people. I was told that this book was not going to be good, but I kind of loved it a lot. Probably because, as I mentioned, Magnus is my favorite character. However, I still really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed seeing his character develop over the years. I really enjoyed a lot of the humor and a lot of the stories that we got to see through his eyes, a lot of the experiences that were had in that book. It was just top tier content for me. And it's not quite a 5-star because there were parts where the writing was a little bit questionable, but I do want to give it 4 stars just because I really loved it and I had a great time reading it. So stay mad, Cassandra. I know that you told me this book was going to be bad, but I liked it and I had fun with it. So 4 stars for The Bane Chronicles. The second book that I read this month was actually going to be right over here, this collector's edition of Red, White, and Royal Blue. It is lovely. It is gorgeous. It is like my favorite book of all time. Obviously, it's a 5-star. I did make a vlog about this, which, as I mentioned, will be linked down here and up here. You should go watch it. It's super fun. I am mostly fangirling the entire time. It's pretty cool. I love this book. I got the collector's edition, and I knew I wanted to reread it because a book that pretty deserves to be read. And also the brand new Henry POV chapter had me in tears. It was great. It's such a funny and cute book, and I love it, and it just makes me so happy, and I think I read it in like 2 days because it's just like impossible to put down. You should read Red, White, and Royal Blue if you haven't. It's great. The third book that I finished this month, we are breezing right through these, is over here. It is Clockwork Angel, again by Cassandra Clare. I loved this book slightly less than I loved The Bane Chronicles, but it was still very entertaining to me. I really enjoyed it. I do give this one like a 3.5 stars, just because there were points in time where I wanted to put the book down. I felt like I was just kind of bored throughout points of it. I really hate Jessamine's character a lot. But again, I don't want to go too in-depth on this one because I am making a reading vlog about my read-through of that series, since I'm trying to get through all of the books on my shelf, and a majority of the ones that I haven't read are Cassandra Clare, so I'm working through those and making reading vlogs about them because I think it's fun and I'm having a good time doing it. That's what matters. So you will hear more about that, but I did end up 3-starring that one just because There were points of it where I was pretty bored, and I don't always like all the characters, but otherwise it was very entertaining, and I definitely think it will get better with the rest of the series. I'm in the middle of the second book right now, and I'm already enjoying it much more than I enjoyed the first one. Yeah, but again, more details to come. You should stay tuned for that vlog. The final book that I read this month was not one that I expected to read, but one of the friends that I have in one of my classes was reading Red, White, and Royal Blue at the same time as me, and I was sitting there before class reading it, and she didn't notice what I was reading because I had it like down on the table, and then she pulls out her copy of Red, White, and Royal Blue and starts reading it, and I'm like, we're reading the same book right now, and she's like, oh my god, we're reading the same book right now. And so obviously, as you do, we started talking about books, and we figured we had similar tastes, and so she was like, I have a book that I think you would really like to read. Do you want to borrow it? It's kind of similar to Red, White, and Royal Blue. And I'm like, absolutely, I want to borrow it if it's similar to Red, White, and Royal Blue. So she lent me this book. It is called Boyfriend Material, and I forget who the author is because it's not my book and I didn't really pay that much attention to the cover. But it looks like this. I will pop it up on the screen. I loved this book so much. It was so funny, and it definitely did kind of have the same vibe as Red, White, and Royal Blue. It was a fake boyfriend trope. From what I looked, this author writes a lot of like tropes, like one bed trope, that kind of thing. Enemies to lovers. It's really cool. But I loved that book so much. I didn't expect to. It took me a second to get into it, but once I did, I, again, had a very hard time putting it down. And so I am going to 5-star this book because it was so much fun. And it was not a book that I expected to read because obviously it was loaned to me. And even better, there is a sequel which was also loaned to me that I have in my bag right now. So that is next up after I finish the book that I'm in the middle of now, which is Clockwork Prince, again, by Cassandra Clare. And I just started that one, so it might be a hot second. I don't believe I will finish it this month at all. But maybe, who knows, and I have a feeling that if the second book is as good as the first book, I'm gonna love it. It's great, and I'm so excited. So thank you, Sam, for lending me that book. It was great. It was so much fun. In return, I lent her Kiss and Tell by Adib Khorram. Top tier. We love to see it. Book friends are great. Get you some book friends. And that is actually going to wrap up my wrap-up. Those were the 4 books that I read this month. And again, I know compared to a lot of bigger YouTubers or even smaller booktubers, 4 books is not a lot to read in 1 month. But I am a busy college student who realistically does not have the schedule to read books. If YouTube could pay me to read books for a living, then by all means, yes, I would be reading like 15 books a month. But I do not. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, you should click that subscribe button down below. I post content twice a week. I am almost to 100 subscribers, which is super cool. So if you do want to help me hit that benchmark, that would be super awesome, and I do appreciate each and every single one of you. You should comment down below because it makes me smile, and I love interacting with you guys in the comments. It's so much fun. Bookish conversations are great, and that is why we're all here. You should like the video because it's easy, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, y'all!